What do you hope the Commission will achieve?
Well, the truth, which you would always expect, kind of unambiguous integrity, which sounds a bit pretentious, but it's not going to be driven by any ideological bent, it's not going to be seen to have any bias. I think it wants to talk to real people at every level and come back with a degree of intellectual rigour to see not just what the good things are, there's lots of good things about Essex, but where we have problems, and with some interesting, sometimes innovative, sometimes practical, common sense suggestions as to how we can take forward our already professed intent to look at the 72% of Essex that is rural, because I think it's been neglected. I do, actually. And Lord H is realising that we have this stunning county, but there are serious bits of it that are failing. And I mean, you could say 63 villages have lost their pub. Well, for a lot of people that is a disaster. But they've lost post offices, they've lost butchers, they've lost all sorts of small essentials, and they're becoming just commuter hamlets, and that's not really where we want to be in 10, 15, 20 years' time. So I think what it needs to do is to give us a good overview and then pick out some specifics.
And what areas will they be looking at? What sort
I
of
think
areas?
rural housing would have to be one, because for young people growing up in a village like mine in Mersey, they can't afford to live there, because the multiples they need to get on the housing ladder. I think Rural Housing Association, Rural Housing Trust, I think that jobs which don't demand an honours degree, that we need to do more rural apprenticeships. We need to maybe look at the planning system and enlist the help of the Essex Planning Officers Association to see how the conflict between putting stuff in towns and not allowing it in villages, because I've seen very good examples of small industrial estates that work really well and where people can bike to work. And I always say support businesses like Wilkins Jam, Malden Sea Salt. There are loads, really. Local industry, local food. We don't promote ourselves enough in how good we are at growing things, like beef and oysters and samphire and even things like grain and hops and Mersey vineyard. I could go on and on about it, but I think that it needs to be thinking locally, and that this commission will help us concentrate our minds as to where we can use what things we've got at our disposal to actually make a difference.
And it's going to help Essex County Council formulate its strategy in the future.
It's going to really be an integral part of it. It's how Essex works.